All right, folks. Let's see. It's the night before the what is this? The 74th Golden Globes, something like that. Anyways, it's just before the Golden Globes. I did make a video here earlier this week where I kind of talked about some recent Oscar nomination changes and stuff like that. And I did kind of briefly go over the Golden Globes, what I thought would win in each category. Since then, there have been a couple changes, so we're just going to go over just the whole thing just really quickly here. Um, and by the way, there have been some recent changes to my Oscar predictions as well. I'll have to get to them another time, but I just want to make this just a quick one here today. Okay, so for Best Film Drama, we'll just might as well start at the top there. I am sticking with Manchester by the Sea to win this, but it's not going to be with a strong vote of confidence. Moonlight and Hacksaw Ridge are also very much alive and in the hunt here. The favorite right now is Moonlight, according to a lot of sources here, but and that's true. It does have 6 nominations total, one more than Manchester by the Sea has. But Hacksaw Ridge also has a shot in there, mainly because it's that big manly movie, the same way The Revenant was last year, and that one won. So that's all three of those are a possibility there. But Manchester for me probably just fits the bill best. For Best Film Comedy or Musical, La La Land, I think that's an easy one. Um, and I did actually just see it today. It's in my top 5 of the year. I don't think it's the best film of the year, but it is a very impressive piece of work and a great love letter to old Hollywood movies and to all sorts of great stuff in there. And Damien Chazelle continues to show he is a great director. For speaking of directors, in the Best Director category, if I switch over to that one here, I do also have Damien Chazelle winning that. This is going to be a tough battle, though. Um, Between him, Mel Gibson, and Barry Jenkins also has a shot in there. For me, Jenkins, he is between these three directors the less known. Whiplash only got one nomination here a couple years ago. Chazelle was not nominated for the screenplay or for directing the movie. It wasn't a Best Film Drama nominee. And then again, there's Mel Gibson, who the Globes do like Mel Gibson. And he was a long shot to get in here, but since then, his Oscar chances have bumped up. I now have him on the list to be nominated at DGA. I think the only place he'll probably miss is the British Academy Awards, but I don't have Hacksaw Ridge in as one of the best films of the year over there. They do only have 5 slots. And, but Hacksaw Ridge, I do have getting into a few categories over there, but man, they do like Mel Gibson. So he's got a decent shot at still winning this. But Damien Chazelle, I mean, with La La Land being the front-runner status it is, I think Damien will probably take it, though. Now for the drama categories for Best Actor in a Drama, I have switched over to Denzel Washington to win here, even though he did just win the Cecil B. DeMille Award last year. My thinking is it's such a flamboyant, loud performance, and loud in the best ways possible. Of course, it's very talky. Very, it's based, of course, on the play Fences by August Wilson, and initially I was thinking, well, he just won the DeMille Award last year, and his film was not nominated for Best Film Drama, not nominated in the screenplay category, or for himself to be nominated for Best Director here. And I had all three of those categories getting being nominees here when that initially started. But then again, my thinking was, okay, maybe they liked Fences enough to say, okay, maybe it's not one of the best dramas of the year. They liked Lion, Hell or High Water, and Hacksaw Ridge better. The other two we knew were going to get in anyways. But my thinking is Casey Affleck's role is just so much of a quieter role. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is really great in the movie, and I was predicting him to win this up until actually the last 24 hours is when I switched over here. But the thing is, they might just award this to him to say, hey, you did a great job acting in this, but we're also going to credit you because you directed this as well. So, I think that was their thinking there. But yeah, Casey Affleck definitely has a really good shot at winning this, and he is the favorite tomorrow night. But don't count out Andrew Garfield yet. I mean, he did have a spectacular year this year with Hacksaw Ridge and Silence. Haven't seen Silence yet, but just every critic that's seen the movie praises him. So I guess he did. I'm sure he did a great job in that as well. Actress in a drama, that's not changed. That's still Natalie Portman. She's the favorite, and I think she's going to win. And then for the actor and actress categories for lead in comedy or musical, I am sticking with those predictions. Ryan Gosling, I think, will still win for La La Land. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Grant are going to put in a fight, though. I did just see Florence Foster Jenkins here a couple days ago, but I'll tell you what, I like the movie. Hugh Grant stole that movie. He was impeccably great, probably his best performance I've ever seen. I mean, he outdoes Meryl Streep in this movie, and Meryl, of course, is always great, but Hugh Grant really stole that movie. And I'm kind of rooting for him now to get nominated. I know previously I was like, the movie came out in August, nobody really saw it, But then when I did see it, it's like, damn, he was spectacular in that. But yeah, as far as we know, he's going to get in the supporting race at the Oscars. The big question is at BAFTA whether he's going to be lead or supporting. I put him in supporting for now, but and I think this will be the only time he's going to be in that lead category. Um, and I think, yeah, even though, yeah, he is considered a lead here, I don't know if he's got enough screen time to outdo Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds, but just based on that. But his charm, the wittiness of his character and the wittiness of him as a personality, uh, that might do him in to get the win here. And then Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool was one of the most successful movies of the year. It's now getting in at stuff like the WGAs, which completely blew me over. That's bullshit. How did that get in? I'm sorry. And Deadpool, I did like the movie, but it's one of the best 5 adapted screenplays of the year, really. But then again, it is WGA. There are a lot of screenwriters who are not part of the guild. Therefore, any work they do cannot be nominated. So that's why we get silly stuff like this. So I'm not going to take that to heart and put Deadpool in it and for adapted screenplay at the Oscars. No way. If that one does get in, I'm never going to predict it. So just so you know. And then for comedy actress, that's Emma Stone's, definitely. And yeah, having seen the film, yeah, she and Ryan too, really great. And probably the best parts of the film were when they were together. I mean, don't get me wrong, the music, for me, the cinematography was just breathtakingly great. The production design was jaw dropping. The costumes looked great. The musical score was wonderful. The songs were great. Everything about it was great. But it's just seeing those two together, even though yes they have done other projects together, it's still great to see them together. Supporting actor, I am sticking with Mahershala Ali or Mahershala. I've heard both ways pronounced. But man, if Jeff Bridges does win this, I'm going to be upset at myself because earlier this year I was predicting him to win this. He is the biggest star of these 5. Sometimes they just have to give it to a big star. So if he does win, I'm going to be mad at myself. But at the same time, I've got to have it on here somewhere that yes, I was previously predicting it. And Dev Patel also does have a good shot for Lion winning that. It's Harvey Weinstein movies, they got to win something here. They always get a vote in at the Globes. The thing is though, um, and I did not like Lion the movie, but Dev Patel and Nicole Kidman, his co-star in the movie, were terrific though, and every bit of praise and every nomination, every award they potentially get, it's worth it because they gave 2 outstanding performances, and I think definitely the Harvey Weinstein factor is the best thing that Dev's got going for him now. Even though he did give again a very good performance there. Supporting actress is Viola Davis. That's over. I think she already won. She might as well not even bother showing up. Screenplay. Initially, I was thinking this would be a close race between Manchester by the Sea and Moonlight and potentially La La Land, but I think Manchester by the Sea is the very safe bet here. For animated feature, that's going to go to Zootopia. Moana is the only other film here, and Sing both actually have 2 other nominations, both in the song category. But Zootopia, I think, has its race to the Oscars, pretty well lined up and everything. So I think that's where that one's going. For original score, I think this one will go to La La Land. I just don't think the competition is there for any of the other nominees. I mean, Moonlight, Probably won't get it. Lion, it is a good score, but I don't see it winning here. Hidden Figures, it has like Pharrell Williams, Hans Zimmer. They love those guys here at the Globes. Or at least they really love Hans Zimmer. But no, I just don't think the film had enough support. It only has one other nomination in supporting actress, and that's Octavia, and she doesn't have a fighting chance. And she might potentially miss out at the Oscars too. The other four I think are solid, but and then the only other one that leaves me with is Arrival, Johan Johansson, who I believe was not nominated here last year for Sicario. He got in at the Oscars, just about everywhere else he could, I guess, for a score for me that really made no sense. All it was blah, like one of those Hans Zimmer's Inception scores. Except even the score to Inception was good, even better than that. But I was like, how did that get in for original score? That made no sense to me. Anyways, but yeah, it is disqualified at the Oscars. So if they do give it to it here, it's just going to be a hooray for Arrival thing. But yeah, okay. I think that's it's just too tough a competition for anything to take La La Land down. For original song, I am going to go against the grain here as well on a couple. I am going against the grain on a couple of these, but how far I'll go for Moana, I think it'll win there. The thing is, it's the music is by Lin Manuel Miranda, who of course is having his breakout year with Hamilton and this. It's about this is the biggest film thing he's done this year. Maybe he was cameoed or something in another movie. I didn't see him anywhere from any of the films I saw, but yeah, I think they'll award him. This is, and I think at the Oscars, it could potentially happen because the City of Stars song and the audition song are gonna be neck and neck at the Oscars as far as which one's gonna win. Plus, you could have some infighting there, where another nominee could split the difference there and win. And I think the clearest alternative, I think, is the Moana song, "How Far I'll Go." But "Can't Stop the Feeling" from Trolls, that's Justin Timberlake. That's another big star. They might want to award him. And then Gold, it's Izzy Pop and it's a few others there. It would be a wild, wild pick. I know some people are predicting it, but I just think the movie itself just got no attention so far. It's not even released yet theatrically, and the screenings from critics has just not gone well at all. So I think that film's Oscar chances, which were once looking kind of gold, to pun here, now look like it's not going anywhere. So if it does win here, yeah, it's just going to be that, okay, good for it. Then we have the last category is Best Foreign Language Film. I'm sticking with Elle here, but I can definitely understand the argument for a film like Tony Erdmann, which is now the front runner for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars, since Elle is disqualified. The only other one I think people are talking about here that I think has a chance is Divines and Neruda also as well. Even though I believe both films will not be competing in the Oscar race. The only two that are going to be competing in the Oscar race going any further here is The Salesman and Tony Erdmann. Between the two, yeah. Tony Erdmann, yeah, I've heard it is a very comical film, from Germany. I've heard it's 3 hours long. I might be wrong about that, just from word of mouth. That's what I heard. And then Elle, the subject matter might be too dramatic for him, but for the Globe voters, but it'll just depend here. Plus, they might want to try to predict the Oscars here with Tony Erdmann winning here. So I see the arguments, but man, Elle, I think clearly they've seen the movie if Isabelle Huppert got in there. I don't think they're just going to stick her in and then not nominate the film unless they think they're both that good. Hopefully that was the case there, and that's my reasoning why. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with that, even though Tony Erdmann now has moved into the front runner position for tomorrow night for that. Okay, well, that was a quick one, wasn't it? I know most of the time I can go on forever and ever, but yeah, I'll be watching tomorrow night again. There will not be any live video coverage, any live reactions, anything like that. No, I'll just do I'll try to keep it brief tomorrow, but I'll as soon as the awards are over, it'll be kind of late, but I'll try and do like a quick 10-minute recap. I'll try to keep it that short, and we'll get those reactions out there as far as what I got right, what I got wrong, what completely puzzled me, and why these friggin' Globes are so crazy. And hopefully, yeah, tomorrow night Jimmy Fallon will do a great job hosting. I mean, I personally, between the three big late night talk shows, I mean, I think Fallon and Kimmel are they're both great. I've never been a Stephen Colbert guy. I've never been a Stephen Colbert guy, but every once in a while he'll have a video comes out that's really funny and gets really popular to where I see it because I don't actively look for his stuff. There was one he did a couple of years ago with Spectre with Tony or Tony, who's Tony, with Daniel Craig. Maybe there was somebody named Tony in the skit or something, but Daniel Craig was playing Bond because Spectre was out, and he said, I want to rent this car. I need to rent this car. The bad guys are chasing me and stuff. And he's like, "Ooh, look at your rental history." I thought that was a great joke. And what I've been saying for years, that I think Daniel Craig, even though he has been doing all this dramatic stuff and these Bond movies and stuff, I think he has the potential to be a scene stealing comedian. I think his comedic timing could be some of the best ever. I'm waiting for him to do a movie with Steve Carell or something. Or, well, maybe not. I don't think he'd be a good fit with Will Ferrell, but somebody like Steve Carell, I think, would be a really great pairing. And call them brothers-in-law or something and have them go on vacation. I think that, remake The Great Outdoors if you have to. I think that would be. I'm writing that script. No, I'm not. But I think that would be hilarious to see him in a comedy there. Just to let him breathe a little bit from all this dramatic stuff he's been doing recently. Um, but yeah, going back to Jimmy Fallon, yeah, I definitely, all of his stuff when he interacts with his guests, all the games they do and everything. Ever since he took the air, I'm like, this could be the next great late night host who sticks around for a while because we had the Conan taking over Tonight Show stuff. We had Jay Leno on for years, off at one point coming back. And personally, I was never a Jay Leno fan, but even though I was born while he was hosting the show, and I was never alive to see Johnny Carson host the show, I mean, he's got to be the top one, Johnny Carson, as far as Tonight Show hosts go. And if we're looking for who's the next Johnny Carson or potentially the next person to gain that following and stick around as long as him, I think we're looking at it in Jimmy Fallon, just from who we have around today. Now, maybe, 10, 15 years from now, we'll have somebody who's already claimed that. I don't know. But I think Jimmy Fallon can be he's, number one, a very likable personality. Hugely likable, and instantly that comedic value comes out. And I always get a kick out of watching his work. So, so I'm looking forward to him really hosting here. Though, Ricky Gervais, I thought, sure he had some great zingers last year, but he's never been my favorite. And Tina and Amy were probably some of the best hosts the Globes have ever had with their 3-year run. Every year there was at least a good 2 or 3 jokes that just cracked me the hell up. Just so funny. And so hopefully, yeah, Jimmy Fallon will return to that level of comedic turns, whereas, Gervais every once in a while would hit a good one, and then, yeah. If you saw the show last year, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to make this any longer than I have to. I'll get some sleep tonight. Get pumped up for the Globes tomorrow. We'll see how well I do. Last year, I remember I did terribly wrong. Got a bunch of them wrong. So we'll hope for some better results this year. But until next time, let's see what those crazy Globes do this time.